1, 2, 3, Barbara. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's in the holds rundown. Well, we got to find it first. Barbie, have you found it yet? Okay, is that it? There it is. They're just now getting ready to leave the studio, so.
Thank you.
Check his camera shots when he gets back out there.
Yeah. Testing 1, 2, 3, Barbara. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hello and welcome to your Macon-Bibb Beat. It's your one-stop shop for all your Macon-Bibb County news. I'm Frank Malloy. Each week we take you through what's happening in your neighborhood from North Macon to South Bibb and everywhere in between. We begin with the story of some Grinches who stole Christmas. The holiday spirit took a hit for some Macon hotel guests when a half dozen of them woke up to broken windows and stolen valuables. The thieves didn't just break into cars, they stole something much more valuable. Hunter King caught up with the victims as they picked up the pieces.
Well, it's the last thing anybody wanted to wake up to this morning. Their car windows smashed in, their items on the inside taken, and now there's an investigation underway for whoever is responsible for these car break-ins.
Morgan Jones thought she was being careful. She parked her Nissan Rogue right under a street light, right in front of the hotel's entrance. She could see it from her window.
I was actually asleep this morning in bed. I get a phone call from my boyfriend saying, hey, the car's been broken into. The glass has been broken out of the back window. And I was like, it's not funny. Stop playing.
But it wasn't a joke. Thieves hit 6 cars at the Country Inn and Suites around 4:30 Monday morning, according to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. Morgan and her boyfriend had just spent the night in Atlanta shopping for their 6-year-old son. All of those presents gone.
Pretty much finished the child's, our child's 6-year-old's Christmas, and now all of that.
Morning, even though the cars were right outside the lobby windows. The hotel manager wouldn't talk to us, then he called deputies and asked us to leave.
The front desk people, they act like they don't know nothing. They ain't hear nothing. We're walking out and they ain't saying anything.
We saw an investigator arrive around noon to talk to victims. Now, Morgan's facing a 10-hour drive back to Florida with a shattered window and a broken heart. Reporting in Macon, Hunter King, 13 WMAZ News.
Sheriff's Office told us they were able to access surveillance footage from the hotel to help with their investigation. The Boys and Girls Club picking up the pieces after another break-in, the 4th one at their location on Bloomfield Road in Macon. You're looking at security footage that shows the suspects vandalizing the building. President and CEO Philip Bryant says staff discovered the damage when they came in Monday morning. Windows, doors, security cameras, locks, and deadbolts all broken. Bryant believes the suspects climbed in through a side window, tore through the building, and even used a fire extinguisher to bust out doors and damage hallways. Bryant says if this continues, the Bloomfield location may be forced to close.
It makes it difficult for organizations like us, like the Boys and Girls Club, again, to continue investing needed resources into repairing vandalized buildings. This is the 3rd or 4th time this building itself has been vandalized.
Philip Bryant says over $200,000 worth of copper was taken in a separate break-in back in 2024. A Macon man will spend the next 20 years in prison for killing his girlfriend after a night out. Leonard Holmes pleaded guilty just before his trial was set to start. This is scene video from back in 2021. Prosecutors said Holmes shot and killed Tanisha Thomas in front of her daughter at their East Macon home. Witnesses told investigators the two were arguing after coming home from a club. Holmes pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter and 2 other charges. He was sentenced to 45 years, 20 in prison, the rest on probation. New details regarding this dash cam video from Ernesto Gonzalez. It shows a deputy directing traffic and then eventually flinging a flashlight and breaking a truck window after the truck failed to stop. The sheriff's office sent us the incident report. According to the deputy's narrative, he attempted to switch the flashlight from his right hand to his other hand to look at the truck. The deputy says, quote, the flashlight then left his hand. The deputy was placed on administrative leave while the sheriff's office investigates. It has been a little over 6 months since Macon-Bibb County rolled out a major justice reform plan for the jail. Mayor Lester Miller and other leaders said they wanted to create a safer, smarter approach to justice and reduce jail overcrowding. The initiative included a justice and wellness task force, job training with ankle monitors, and a jail expansion. The goal, reduce the jail population and shift more people into community supervision and services. Maggie Fitzgerald shares what David Davis says is and isn't working.
We will begin to enroll eligible individuals who would otherwise be incarcerated. in the spring, Macon-Bibb County leaders rolled out 6 initiatives designed to reduce the jail population and shift more people into community supervision and services. It came after years of reports of violence, overcrowding, unsafe and unhealthy conditions, even jail cells that won't lock. The county set a goal to release 150 nonviolent offenders on ankle monitors. That day, the jail was about 50 people over capacity, around 1,016 inmates. Nearly 6 months later, Sheriff David Davis says the numbers aren't dropping.
Today, we have 1,023 inmates in the jail, and so the inmate population has gone up in the last few weeks to almost 1,050.
While early release, in-reach housing and mental health programs have expanded, overcrowding continues. He says the Macon Justice Works program has moved 50 to 60 inmates out of the jail and into community supervision. However, probation violators and a large number of violent cases add up to little progress.
And that jail just takes every bit of hope, happiness, and everything out of you. It just drains you. It makes you suicidal.
Presley Taylor walked out of the Bibb County Jail on Monday. During her week spent there, she says she saw overcrowding, violence, and medical neglect.
There's rats everywhere. There's head lice everywhere. There's scabies everywhere, and they will not do anything to treat it.
Macon-Bibb officials hope to improve those conditions with a jail expansion. That will add 150 more beds and make space to renovate current blocks and cells.
It's kind of a tall order for this new facility, and we have some space in the current facility that can be sort of expanded or repurposed for some of those functions, for the mental health function as well as some of the physical health function.
Part of that expansion includes officials tearing down the Walter Higgins building on Hazel Street. That would likely become a parking lot for deputies and jail staff. The expansion itself for a new medical annex is slated for the west side of the jail to support an additional 150 inmates. The next step in the jail expansion project would be announcing a contractor. So far, leaders have selected architect Jericho Design Group. They'll design the nearly $30 million jail expansion. The contractor will then build it. The mayor says once construction starts, it could last for 16 to 18 months.
We first met Artise Rosier in 2021 when she told us about speeding on New Clinton Road in front of her home. Since then, she says she's seen more wrecks, some of them ending up in her front yard. But last month, she says the unthinkable happened.
It's just horrible. So I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do.
Rosier says she and her son were in their living room when this SUV crashed into her home in November. She had to be treated at the hospital and now says her family feels unsafe in their own home.
Every time we hear cars, we get nervous. Like, we try to stay on the back side of the house. Like, nobody comes in the front of the house no more.
But Rosier says this accident is just one of the many wrecks on New Clinton Road. She says speeding has been an issue since she moved in back in 2019. Rosier even spoke to us multiple times over the past 6 years about her concerns.
There is no speed limit sign anymore. It was one over there. They hit it and took it down the street. So there's not a speed limit sign over here. So it's a safety issue all the way around. Like, ain't nobody safe.
Roy Miller lives across the street and agrees with Rosier. He says he's counted over 12 wrecks in 3 years and adds he's had enough.
More tragedy will happen unless something is done to make it safer. And I think that's what we all want, just for it to be safer.
Rosier says she's reached out to the city and the sheriff's office about this issue and has gotten no response. Now she's hoping something will finally be done.
I would like for them to do something. I would like a speed bump. They can do, it's something.
Commissioner Stanley Stewart told us he's reaching out to the sheriff's office and Bibb County's traffic department this week about the problem. Reporting in Macon, Olivia Dunn, 13 WMAZ News.
Bibb County traffic engineer Nigel Floyd told us the county would first need to do a traffic study on the road before they could put in a stoplight, a speed bump, or a four-way stop. Changes coming to I-75. The massive I-16, I-75 interchange improvement project will shut down one lane north and southbound on MLK Boulevard and Coliseum Drive. Now that's running December 8th through the 11th from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. There are still lane shifts on both I-75 north and south around the Spring Street exit, detouring drivers to MLK Boulevard. A man fighting for his life after more than a year since he was hit by a car. We reported on this story back in September of 2024 when a driver hit Ronnie Thomas and never stopped. His family says Thomas is paralyzed and in hospice care in Columbus. Ellie Milliken spoke to his sister, who says they're keeping the faith while still seeking answers.
A busy day on Mercer University Drive with cars speeding by. For Ania Thomas, it still feels like yesterday when she got the news her brother Ronnie had been struck by a car.
I was told when someone ran a light, hit him, and he landed right here in front of the Checkers over here, and they kept going after they ran him over.
On that day in September of 2024, Ronnie was working security at the Atrium Amphitheater and was hit while walking across Mercer University Drive to get some food. The impact threw his body across the street. Thomas says she was shocked, partially because it was the second time her brother was struck by a hit and run. The first was in 2021 as he was walking on Vineville Avenue.
Posted on the news, and they ended up finding out who the person that hit him. But he actually survived that, walked away with a broken arm and a broken leg on that part.
His second accident was much worse.
Hard because he was hit again. They had to revive him twice, so he died twice. But they brought him back for the third time. They had to reconstruct his whole body.
Ronnie Thomas had a heart attack and slipped into a coma for almost a year, finally waking up this October. Now, his family is suffering with medical bills. Ronnie Thomas is paralyzed and the sheriff's office has no answers about who hit him.
Anything they could tell us that, to help us understand why that happened and why they left him like that on the ground like that.
Ania says Ronnie was more than a brother. He was her best friend. He was her kid's uncle, and now he can't communicate, walk, or move his body. Her family's hope is justice for Ronnie. In Macon, Ellie Milliken, 13 WMAZ News.
Ania Thomas says her brother was recently taken off a feeding tube and may just have days to live. The Thomas family asks anyone with information on the case to come forward and report it. Happening around your community, a big moment recently at the Macon Coliseum when Macon Mayhem forward Justin Thompson returned to the ice. Doctors are calling Thompson's comeback a miracle. He recently dropped the ceremonial puck before the Mayhem's match with the Huntsville Havoc. Thompson was seriously injured during a game in November and suffered a cervical spine injury. The Mayhem used Thompson's return to fuel a 4-1 win over the Havoc. The push to make the Okmulgee Mounds a national park facing another setback. Mike Caldwell is one person who stands in opposition. He says the department would rather use their current resources to maintain the parks they already have rather than expand. A Senate hearing recently was held to consider 25 proposed bills, including Senate Bill 1131, which would turn the site into a national park. Much of the discussion covered job cuts at the nation's parks and historic sites. One senator says park service jobs have dropped by a third, but the number of visitors continues to climb. Caldwell says adding parks would continue to put pressure on their already limited resources. This is not the first time the Park Service has poured cold water on the idea. Advocates initially proposed a nearly 120,000-acre park, but a Park Service report said the cost to buy and manage that land was unfeasible. Since then, congressional leaders crafted a scaled-down plan, around 5,000 acres. The current site sits on around 700 acres. Keep Macon-Bibb Beautiful, teaming with Keep Warner Robins Beautiful for a relief tree giveaway. The organizations are distributing 600 free trees through a relief tree grant. Some of the options include oaks, dogwoods, redbuds, and sycamores. Each tree comes with planting instructions and a bag of mulch at no cost. Currently, there is no limit on how many trees people can take.
Last year was interesting because people came out, they picked out their tree, and I think it worked out well because we were able to meet a lot of the people in the community, but also it was like a pre-Christmas gift for people, like a tree. They were able to pick out a particular tree they wanted, and it was just a good community event.
It's Saturday, December 13th, the Rosa Jackson Community Center, the Warner Robins Native Plant Center as well. You can swing by both locations anytime between 9 and noon. An arborist will be on site to answer any of your questions. Next month will mark 12 years since the city of Macon and Bibb County merged into a single consolidated government. The consolidation dissolved the Macon Police Department and eliminated about 100 positions, moving law enforcement duties under the Bibb County Sheriff's Office.
In what used to be the county today, but then tomorrow they're going into the city doing it, and so we're able to, we're able to track them and make those cases no matter where they may go.
On the 10th anniversary of consolidation 2 years ago, Sheriff David Davis said consolidation helped them protect more efficiently. Maggie Fitzgerald shares why another county leader is questioning whether consolidation left Macon-Bibb with too few officers.
The debate rages on whether consolidation was good or bad. Fundamentally, really the only thing consolidation did that I see is defund the police.
12 years after Macon and Bibb County merged into a single government, District 7 Commissioner Bill Howell says we're still living with the consequences, especially on the roads. Howell says he gets calls 3 or 4 times a week from people who were almost in a wreck or sat on the side of the road for an hour or more waiting on a deputy to take a report. Standing at North Avenue and Gray Highway, Howell says it doesn't take long to see what he's talking about.
We'll see somebody run this red light. We'll hear people blowing the horn, but yes, the rumors are true. I have looked at other options for traffic. I don't think we need a full-fledged police department, but I would like to see traffic improved.
Me and my other neighbor called the cops, and I heard that another lady heard the shots, called the cops. I waited for like 45, no, maybe about an hour.
David Yeager says he's dialed 911 at least twice after hearing shots fired around his cul-de-sac near Lake Topasofke. He says he's faced slow response times in what he calls serious situations.
It's aggravating that for something so serious in a neighborhood, that someone, might have been shot and that someone's shooting a gun in this neighborhood.
Howell says any solution, whether more traffic enforcement or something bigger, will cost money. And while he doesn't want to raise taxes, he says the community has to decide how much they're willing to pay for.
I don't want to spend any more money. I don't want to raise taxes no more than anybody else does. But it doesn't do us any good to talk about new venues, new arenas, and that kind of stuff. If people don't feel safe, they're not coming. But I've been a commissioner for 5 years now. It's time we do something one way or the other.
In Macon, Maggie Fitzgerald, 13, WMAZ News.
Bibb Sheriff's Office is increasing their efforts to get more staff. Officials say they'll use a new community outreach vehicle in an effort to recruit more deputies. That's along with 27 new cruisers recently added to the Sheriff's Office fleet. A brand new holiday tradition is bringing a taste of Europe to downtown Macon this year. Macon's first ever Marché de Noël Christmas Market is ringing in the holiday season. 20 vendors are lined up along Cherry Street for the 10-day European-style event. Maggie Fitzgerald shares more.
Macon is officially stepping into its European era this holiday season with its first ever Marché de Noël. 20 chalets line Cherry Street Plaza, each one packed with holiday flavors, festive finds, and a whole lot of local spirit. At Felicia's Cake Factory, the treats are sweet, and the holiday spirit is turned all the way up.
They're homemade and they're filled with love. Like, we put so much effort in trying to make new ideas or trying to fix everybody's taste buds. And who doesn't want sugar on holidays? So
across the way, husband and wife Billy and Ashley Copeland says the secret to great gifts is in the details.
The attention to detail, and I think the time that goes into each of these, it's thoughtfully crafted. You can see us sanding by hand every little bit of everything. So you know that it's a good quality product.
And for some vendors, the holiday market is a little holiday surprise of its own.
And I was kind of skeptical, but now that I'm here, I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm hoping we do it every year.
And if candles and sparkling jewelry don't get your attention, the smell of fresh mulled wine just might. If you're feeling thirsty, the market's serving up hot refreshments and collectible boot mugs, a perfect warm-up for the chilly nights ahead. And that's all thanks to Fall Inn co-owner Caitlin Crescent, who teamed up with Visit Macon to bring this European-inspired experience to life.
Year after year, Macon continues to roll up their sleeves, put on their thinking caps, and work together to really support local businesses and make such cool things like this continue to happen. And I hope that nobody takes it for granted and really understands the hard work that went into it.
In Macon, Maggie Fitzgerald, 13, WMAZ News.
All right, the market is open through Sunday, December the 14th. Another holiday tradition bringing a bit of history to life. Neighbors opening up homes for the historic Vineville Holiday Tour, giving visitors a peek inside some of Macon's most iconic homes. The Vineville Neighborhood Association hosts the tour every other year. This was their biggest one yet. 12 homes were featured, many never before seen on the tour. That includes the legendary Allman Brothers house. Jenny Wright, who sits on the neighborhood board, says this is all about community pride and showing off Vineville's timeless charm during the holidays.
For people who love historical homes, or maybe they just love the holidays or looking for some inspiration, especially the aspect of being in historical homes. We have a booklet that has a little description of the history of the home, and these are just very unique. No two homes are going to be the same on the inside.
Of course, the holiday season features parades. Macon and Lizella held their annual Christmas parades. Our cameras were there. The Lizella Christmas Parade stepped out Saturday afternoon. Even though the weather wasn't perfect, there was still a lot of fun, and everyone got dressed up as they rolled down Eisenhower Parkway. It was an event they said, despite the bad weather, they weren't about to miss.
Well, it means a lot. We're a small town, even though we're part of Bibb County, Macon-Bibb County. You know, Lizella's been here a very long time, and we are growing. We've got a lot of new neighborhoods out here, churches, and we just want to show our pride by having this parade this year.
24 hours later, Santa was rolling down through downtown Macon. The annual event drew hundreds of people along the route, celebrating the start of the holiday season. State and local leaders, community groups, bands, everyone showing off their best dance moves. This year's theme, Making It Home for the Holidays, featuring floats, classic cars, and a whole lot of pride. We caught up with Macon's Street to Success group. They were definitely excited to be a part of this year's parade.
These are some of the finest kids in Macon right here on Street to Success. And these are some of the mentors and tutors and things that we have. And this is our crazy float over here. We're going to give our all and wave and smile and be happy. Look at all these faces. Yeah, we love it.
And that is the final note in this week's edition of the Macon-Bibb Beat. If you have a Macon-Bibb County story you want us to share, you can always email us at news@13wmaz.com. Make sure you come back every Wednesday to get all the news and stories that matter to you. Thanks for watching the Macon-Bibb Beat.